Okay.
Progress.
All right. Well, happy Self-Care Sunday as of the time of this recording. I'm Latrice, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about all things skincare supplements, boosters, and what might be right for you, how to pick, how to know what you might personally need. So we're going to show some visuals today. Brought some of the ones that I personally use, I'm going to tell you about. I brought some that I'm not personally using at the moment, but like I might at the end of this because I may say, I might need to add a little bit to the mix too. So, and then I actually brought one product I do use constantly, but mine looks a little crazy, so I didn't want to put that one on camera. So I have a clean one for that. But we wanted to just thank you guys for hopping on to our Beauty Boost camp today. And thanks to the consultants, our live studio audience for hopping on. So the first thing I like to just share, whether you are a customer or a consultant, the way to even have a starting point here, and even for your consultant to be able to give you recommendations, is to use the Mary Kay Skin Analyzer app. And I share this for consultants too, because it's something designed for us, and we are customers as well. We're a customer of our own skincare products. So this is an app. I'm going to play this video because I do want to make sure everyone understands how to use it. Sometimes I assume people know how to use this, and I'm usually wrong. So we're going to play the video so you know how to use it. I will say you can download this app for free on your Apple device or your Android device. If you're an Android user, just go to your Google Play Store or go to the Apple Store. So let's see how the Skin Analyzer app works.
I got a new reputation. I keep it moving, steady, standing still. I'm like a man on a mission. Call it tunnel vision. Feet go where they will. I'm seeing stars in the mirror. I got a feeling the test won't quit. These dreams are getting bigger. Time to make a break for it. I can feel it setting in. I'm gonna make a break for it. I can tell you without a doubt. I'll make a break for it right now. I'm gonna change my location and shake up this whole scene. Ain't no hesitation, my imagination running like a wild thing. I set it all in motion. I feel it in my soul. I made my decision, hitting the ignition. I'm ready to roll. I'll make a break for it. I'll make a break for it right now.
Okay, so I wanted to share that because that's a great tool available to all of us. As a consultant, it's good. So I can see what I might need to use personally. I need to practice using it so that I can guide a customer through using it. And if you're a customer, this is just a way to then be able to send the visuals. Like, let's say you're going to connect with your beauty consultant for a quick chat in person or online. You can text her your screenshots and she'll be able to kind of guide you through it. And so, of course, it's going to give you a recommendation for your skincare. We just did a session last week that was all about like, just being able to pick the right skincare. And so you want to check that out, ask your beauty consultant for that video, because having, even before you can like have your perfect match with foundation, it's about having like your good skincare as a base. And so what skincare do you need personally? The Analyzer app will tell you that as well, because it does do measurements of like wrinkles, the texture around, texture, the skin around the eyes, right? So it's one other category that I always forget. I forgot what it is, but it walks you through all of that, and then it will give you some recommendations as well for like the boosters, which we're going to talk about. Lori just said in the chat that yes, we are our best customers. She just used the app recently and added the Time-Wise cleanser back in the rotation for the summer. So thank you for that reminder that today is the first day of summer as the time of the recording. And so your skin changes from spring, winter and spring to summer and fall. And so this is the time of year. I mean, I just started popping my allergy meds because the allergies are kicking in, okay? And so, that can affect, if that's affecting my body, then like your skin can be affected too. You might get more itchy. Like all of those things just are factors. And so adjusting your skincare makes a difference. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of these boosters and skincare supplements based on what your concern is. So like one big concern people have are wrinkles. Either you're wanting to stay ahead of wrinkles, you're starting to see the beginning signs of wrinkles, maybe you're seeing them in certain areas. I know sometimes we naturally might get the like little lines starting to form around the forehead or sometimes here. Some things are hereditary as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to do when you start to, whether you're trying to stay ahead of the game or if you're wanting to do a little repairing. Now, I have this visual here. This is something that it's a resource for consultants, but you can, if you're a customer and you want to know what order, the cool thing is your skin analyzer app helps with that. But one little area that it doesn't necessarily give you the right order is the boosters, because it kind of puts the boosters all at the bottom. And we're going to tell you a little bit about when to use what. Okay, so this will be my little cheat sheet that I use as well. Now, in any regimen, the first thing you're going to do is wash your face. Okay, so you clean your face. And I'm saying this because if you start adding these boosters, you may or may not be using Mary Kay skincare. We would love it if you were. But the cool thing about these things we're going to talk about is you can layer them in if you're using another regimen. And hopefully we will get you to try the Mary Kay skincare, and you might find that, oh, this works even better when I'm pairing all things together in the same family. But we also know sometimes we're using other brands, and so these can fit in to something else that you're using if you're not using Mary Kay exclusively. So the first thing we would do is wash our face. When your face is clean, now we kind of get into like using a booster, or what is a booster? What's a serum? What's the difference, right? So let's talk a little bit about that. All right. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of address things that tackle wrinkles, because that's the number one thing that I've heard. And our live audience, you can tell me if you've heard people say this, or maybe it's something you want to address is, what do you have for wrinkles? Okay. And so the first thing we're going to talk about is our deep wrinkle filler. Okay. Now this is from the Time Wise Repair line. We're going to also tell you a little bit about what each of these do, so that if you're going through today and you're watching the replay, you want to take notes, or you're like, oh yeah, that's what I need. Like you can write this down, or you can let your consultant know, hey, send me more info about this deep wrinkle filler, or, I know I already need this. Give me some pricing on it. Okay. And so the deep wrinkle filler is from our Time Wise Repair line. And so these are some of the ways to know you might need this, or this is something you want to address. Are you in a situation where you're like, oh, I'm starting to see more deeper wrinkles or deeper expression lines? So this is going to instantly soften that. It's also going to help to fill in the appearance of smile lines, those little crow's feet, right, that form around the eyes, those forehead lines, and more. It's going to help smooth and plump the skin, and it helps be more youthful. Now, here's the difference. We're going to talk about another product a little later that kind of you might be like, well, aren't they the same thing? And they're not, because this can be used in more parts of your face than the other product we're going to talk about. Okay, so this can be used wherever you're seeing those expression lines. So like, around I think Carolyn's kind of, I don't know if you're showing. Okay. I was like, is she just touching her face, or is she showing us a visual, right? So like those lines start to form from smiling, the smile lines, the crow's feet, the forehead, right? Like there's like 6 areas of the face where we start to see like lines starting to form. So this deep wrinkle filler can be used in all of those areas. Okay, versus this another product we're going to talk about later is like for the forehead only, and maybe deeper lines around the eyes. So retinol, hyaluronic acid, those are your hot ingredients that are designed to help support the visible wrinkle improvement. All right. And the cool thing is as well is that there's just a little precision tip. All right. So it helps you target that area. You don't have to worry about it spilling out all over the place. So deep wrinkle filler is part of our Time Wise Repair. One of my friends, Nicole, calls it the Grown and Sexy line. Okay. So this is designed for the person who wants to have the best of the best. Okay. So this is one product for deep wrinkles. Now, a daily, and you can use it daily. You can use it morning and night. The next one we're going to talk about, you've probably heard of it if you've heard about the Time Wise Repair, that's in the Time Wise Repair skincare line. It's the Advanced Lifting Serum. It's this one I pull from my personal medicine cabinet because I use this every day. Okay. And this again is going to help your skin be more firm, more lifted, more defined. It helps to give your complexion that more youthful, sculpted appearance. When I used to do parties in person more so, and I would have people try this, I would have them trying on half the face, and it was crazy to me how quickly it would go zhur, and like literally lift up the side of the face that we tried it on. It would give like an instant boost. Okay. So as we age, as gravity takes hold of more things, right? Like gravity has things going down. Okay. And so this helps to lift. This is going to help improve the look of your skin elasticity, soften the appearance of lines and wrinkles, and it's very lightweight. So Lori said about the deep wrinkle filler that it is the truth. She says that she uses this daily and at night. It's a no needle Botox pen. Yes. So Victoria, yes, you can use that for those marionette lines. The key is consistency. She says what is effective for marionette lines. It's you can use that, but the biggest thing I always tell people is you got to use it every day. This is not a product where you're using it and then you still have it 6 months from now. Because if you still have it 6 months from now, you haven't been using it regularly. All right. Like that's the one thing and I tell my customers, they know me, they know I'm a mess when it comes to this, but I'll call you out because it's like if you've had your cleanser for 7 months, you haven't reordered it, clearly you're not getting the benefits of it because I go through a cleanser in a month and a half. And I wash my face twice a day. So we know when we're using stuff consistently that we run out of it because we're getting the most bang for our buck. Okay. But it's giving you don't need a lot of it, but it's not something to use sparingly. It's not something you break out like the china in your cabinet for special occasions. So it's effective. All of these things really are effective if you use them morning and night, unless it's not something you're supposed to use every day, which we'll tell you. Okay. So again, it depends on what you're looking for. For that, like Victoria, I would say try it out. Use the deep wrinkle filler. Okay. And also take notes because you're gonna be able to say, oh, yes, this is giving me what I need. All right. I also would pair these two together. The advanced lifting serum is a serum. So this is going on right after I wash my face. So I clean my face, use my lifting serum, and then I could use the deep wrinkle filler in those specific areas. Okay. Lori is co-signing that. She says, yes, it works if you use it. I used to use it sporadically and I see the results now that I use it like I should. Okay. So as with everything, especially as we mature, I was just watching something about exercise because I don't love it, but I know I have to do exercise daily. And something I was reading or watching was basically saying that when we're younger, we could be doing all that high intensity stuff and so forth in the gym. And as we mature, our body starts to react differently to like, we can't do those same things we did when we were 20. But what our body does respond to is consistency. And I thought that was a very interesting point. Like if you're consistent with something, your body responds to it, whether it's walking, whether it's just some type of like daily movement. So that same concept can be applied to our skincare. How consistent are you? Are you off on? Or are you like, yes, I'm going to give this 30 days and then another 30 days, like anything. Okay. So that is my thoughts on that. But the advanced lifting serum, morning and night. Okay. Morning and night. It's part of your regular washing your face and moisturizing routine. Okay. This is something you can use on that front. Okay. Continuing on, another serum that addresses a different concern. So we're going to kind of detour a little bit from wrinkles and talk about brightening the skin, replenishing, refreshing, energizing. I pulled this one from my personal stash too. Now, I will just tell you, for me personally, now this is Latrice's regimen. Not saying you have to do this, but I like to do different serums for morning versus night. Okay, because I need all the help. I know, all right. So at nighttime, before I go to sleep, is when I personally use the repair serum. Okay. But in the daytime, after I wash my face, I use the serum C and E. And the reason why is because I want to help brighten and energize the skin. It's also, okay, Lori's saying it too. I'm looking at my chat in the other one. She uses the C and E in the AM as well, right? So this is going to help to brighten and energize your skin. A lot of times we're like, oh, my skin's looking tired. What is up with this? So just like when we were maybe younger and we used to get those little vitamin E capsules and you burst them and put them on your face or whatever, like that was the old school way to get vitamins. Well, now they've taken all of that and put it into a serum. Okay. And again, what I like about it is you can see it's got the perfect little pump. So you're not over pumping and you're not wasting product. Okay. So it's going to be something you use right after you wash your face in the morning. It helps to support a more radiant, refreshed complexion, and it's lightweight and easy to layer with your favorite products. Now, we'll talk about this boosters, but I pair this one with a booster. So what's the difference? A booster is something that's more concentrated with the ingredients and like what the potency is of it versus a serum is sort of like I heard this comparison that like if you were dealing with like allergies, you can take like a Claritin or something like that. That would be like your serum. But let's say it's been 6 months and you're not having any help. You're going to go to like that specific like allergist type doctor who might have to give you like a more potent solution to help with these allergies. Okay. So it's like, what can I get for like this, nice, quick, easy fix? Claritin might be enough. But if you're having more serious situation, you go to the ear, nose, throat doctor, or you go to, just someone who's more specialized in your concern, and you're going to get something more potent. And that's the thing, the difference between like a serum and a booster. A booster is more potent, okay? And you can pair, like in skincare, you can pair a booster with a serum, but the booster is going to give you just a more like bam, like, specific ingredient targeting a specific concern. All right. And so let's talk a little bit about another part of the clinical solutions and what this does. Now, this is one of our newer products from the Clinical Solutions line. And what Clinical Solutions is, it's called dermocosmetics. Dermocosmetics is the intersection of dermatology plus cosmetics. Okay. So if you've ever gone to a dermatologist, maybe it was because oh, I have this really specific concern. And they might put you on a medicine, a topical cream, right? They gave you some type of antibiotic, just something to address because it's usually addressing like something internal. Okay. I've gone to dermatologists before for different concerns in the past, right? We may just have our own things that we're dealing with. So Mary Kay created the Derma Cosmetics Clinical Solutions line to say, okay, we're going to take the benefits of dermatology with the cosmetic culture, if you will, and marry the two. And that's where this line has come from. But the doctors, the scientists, this is me nerding out for a second, all right, they have done all the work to test and make sure that these ingredients don't create like this combustion where our face is the casualty, but we're getting the best results from it. All right. And they have carefully over the last couple of years over time released certain products. Okay, so it hasn't been just this like, here's 12 products. It's like we had one for a while, right? And then they came out with boosters, and now we're getting like other targeted things. So this is the newest one, the Barrier Restore 113. Now you're like, what in the world is all of that mean? I'm going to just simplify and say it's sort of like when you have a screen on your door to make sure flies and bugs and all that stuff doesn't come in your house, we also need a screen to protect our face. Now, this product specifically, it says here on the visual, it gives dry, stressed skin the support it craves. It helps to replenish and strengthen your skin barrier. It locks in moisture. It reduces dryness. It leaves your skin feeling softer, calmer, more comfortable. So you might think, oh, this is for someone with dry skin. It's not just for people with dry skin. If you are more oily or more acne prone, this is also really good. I'm really seeing that it's helping my skin as an acne prone person, that it is helping to screen out yucky bacteria and bad stuff. Okay, so I have to tell myself, now this is the one where I'm working to be more consistent of using this one morning and night. Okay, but for sure during the day, because I go outside. Even if I just go for a walk, you're exposed to the elements, the environment, all of that is there. Okay. And so this is the one I'm still working to be consistent in using it regularly because it's newer. And this one goes on right. This is the product you would use second to moisturizer. So like moisturizer is the last thing, unless it's sunscreen. Sunscreen is the very last, right? But this would go on right before your moisturizer. Okay. And so again, as you see, there's a pump. Okay. So you're not having to use too much. I use a pump, y'all. One pump, maybe a pump and a half if I'm being generous. But you don't need a lot of this. And so this is going to last you a couple months. All right. using it regularly. Now, I don't use everything we're talking about personally because I don't need to use everything. So you don't necessarily need to either. But you might be like, yeah, I do want to have a screen to protect my skin from the elements and yuck and so forth. Or I am acne prone, or I do have drier skin. I do want some extra moisture or lock that in. Basically, the 113 are like these healthy fats and cholesterol. It's the scientific stuff. I don't really know all about that. All I care about are what the benefits of the product are. And so this is part of the dermacosmetics line. All right. And this is newer. So if you've never tried it, especially if you're a consultant, I would say add this to your list and give it a try because it's fabulous. Right. And I really do like it. Now, along those lines of a fabulous product is our retinol zero point 0.3. Now, retinol was the first thing they came out with as far as dermacosmetics, but it was like a different formula. Lori knows this. We had to take 8 weeks to retinize our skin. It was a whole thing. That was really trying to remember a lot of stuff. Okay. So they simplified it. They said, you know what? We need to simplify this. They kept improving on the formula. And so, probably about a year ago or so, I would say at this point, they upgraded this to zero point 0.3, which is a daily retinol. You see here, it says it's a beginner friendly way to add retinol to your routine. So if you're like, I need the beginner version, I need the easy version, this is going to be your jam. So why is retinol important? Well, retinol is one of those ingredient things to use, or it's derived from vitamin A, and it's really designed for all age groups, right? If you're younger, you're wanting to stay ahead of the game because as we mature, skin changes and those fine lines and wrinkles start creeping up. So this is going to help improve the look of fine lines and wrinkles. Retinol's also been talked about a lot as a product for acne prone skin to help fight against breakouts and so forth. Again, that doesn't say that here on this visual, but I do a little extra research because I'm always looking for what are the hot button ingredients or what are the things I need to use to help keep acne at bay. Yes, even in the 40s, acne still wants to show up. Okay. So what things help with that? So those are some extra perks. Now, it also is going to help the smooth the appearance of uneven skin texture, supports firmer, more radiant looking skin, and it's designed to use every night. Okay. And you wake up with your skin looking refreshed and renewed. So I do use this. And so let me address the elephant in the room because you're probably thinking, oh my goodness, you were talking about all these different products. How long does this take to use? Okay. And consultants, you can drop it in the chat if you're using some of these things. You can drop in the chat how long your routine is. For me, honestly, at night, it's like a 3 minute routine, unless I'm using a mask. All right. Because all I'm doing is I wash my face, then I'm like squirt, 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 squirt. And that's it. Okay. It's not taking all day. I just have to know which ones I'm using. Okay. So here's my nighttime routine. I wash my face. Let me get my actual cleanser. I don't use the repair cleanser. I use the Time Wise cleanser. Okay. So I wash my face with the cleanser on a retinol night. This is what I would do. I would wash my face with my cleanser. I use my lifting serum. Then you would put an eye cream on. If you use an eye cream, we're not talking about eye cream today, but we always recommend an eye cream. Okay. Your eye cream goes on right after your lifting serum, before retinol. Okay. Then I bust down my retinol, do one pump, one tiny pump. That's it. Don't use more. Do not use more than one pump of retinol. Okay. Then I use my barrier restore because again, I'm trying to keep things at bay. And then I moisturize and go to bed. That's it. That's my routine at night. That takes 3 minutes, if that. Because all I'm going is squirt, 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 squirt. That's it. And work it in. Okay. So that's my nighttime routine. But I really care about my nighttime routine because I need it to be doing its thing while I'm sleeping. All right. I want it to just be helping keep things at bay. All right. So that is the retinol 0.3. And so now let's talk a little bit about these boosters because really what we were talking about before, you guys, were serums. Okay. Those were the serums. Now it's like, wait, I have some more specific concerns. I really need to address A, B, C, D. Okay. And so here's letter A. Letter A is wrinkles. If you're like, I really got these wrinkles, I need to address them, then you're gonna want the C plus resveratrol line reducer. Okay. This booster is potent, right? It says antioxidant rich ingredients, helps to soften the look of lines and wrinkles, helps to boost your skin's natural radiance. If you want smoother, firmer looking skin, bam. Are you wanting to defend against the everyday environmental stressors? Bam. Okay. So boosters can be used Morning or night, but let's just kind of just focus on morning right now because I just talked about a nighttime routine. I don't want to mess that up at this moment. Okay, so let's talk about using this in the daytime. So boosters, and I'm going to look at make sure I say this right, right? Because I've heard people say things in the wrong order, even online, okay, about when you use a booster. So you would wash your face first with your cleanser. If you use a toner, you would use your toner, okay? Then you would put your booster on. Okay. You put a booster on before a serum. So let's say you use this repair lifting serum. If you're using a booster, you use the booster first. Okay. And then the serum and then your moisturizer, right? And why is that? Because the booster is going to be like a thinner consistency and you want to put the thinnest consistency closest to clean skin. Okay, you'll find sometimes serums are a little thicker. They're not as thick as moisturizers, but they're thicker than a booster. Really, a lot of times the boosters are kind of really watery, right? When you find they're kind of like just very watery so that it really delivers the ingredients to the skin. And then you lock it in with the serum and then you seal it in with the moisturizer. Okay. So, I don't know what you're asking in the chat was the difference between report and retinol. If you might need to write that question out again, Victoria. So the C plus resveratrol line reducer, okay, this is going to help with again wrinkles as a concern. All right. The next booster and the next concern is I have hyperpigmentation. I have dark spots. All right. I have uneven skin tone. Okay. And so this is going to be the ferulic niacinamide brightener. It's going to help to target it. I love this. And this is the one. Remember, I said there's a booster you can pair with one of our serums, and it is this one, the ferulic niacinamide brightener, and pair it with the serum C and E. Mary Kay even has a name for it. They call it the best in brightness. So if you're really wanting to get that bright, fresh skin, you're going to be your jam. All right. So it helps to brighten and refresh tired looking skin, bring back your skin's natural glow. And so easy again, wash your face, then you would use like literally, and so you'll notice there's like a dropper. This is like a dropper. So all you need to do is squeeze, and don't even squeeze too much because a lot will come out that dropper. You don't even always need the whole dropper, maybe half the dropper. All right, and then you put that on. It delivers those ingredients, and then put the serum, the C and E serum, and then your moisturizer. Okay, and that is fabulous. Like, yes, Lori, the C and E brightener are the truth together. I also have had some customers take, trust me, if you will, and start using it. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm seeing a difference in my skin, right? Because the other thing is our skin can get used to something after a while, right? And then it doesn't react the same. So you got to shake it up. You got to switch it up so that your skin is getting what it needs. Like we have a whole other session on mask and exfoliators, right? That's a whole other class. But like when you marry those two things together, you're really just helping to keep your skin from getting used to something. All right. Okay. The next concern is texture or dealing with sometimes acne prone skin. Okay. And so this is our PHA AHA resurfacer. And so this is going to help to smooth rough or uneven skin texture. It reveals softer, bright looking skin, helps sweep away dullness for a fresh, radiant look, and it's going to actually gently exfoliate. So even though when you put this on, you're like, well, I don't feel anything gritty, you're not. But it's those ingredients that are like kind of like doing the exfoliation underneath the surface, though it's not gritty at all. It's not granular. It's not even, and you don't have to rinse it off. But this is one that you would use at night only and only twice a week. Okay, so this is not an everyday use type booster. You would use this twice a week. And if you were using this, don't use retinol that night. Okay, and don't use don't use a mask or anything that night either. Just use this one by itself and some moisturizer. Okay, after washing your face. Okay, so this one is this would be like in lieu of like a facial peel or something like that. Yes, Lori, it exfoliates. I've been digging more into these, right? And this one, and I'm gonna, so this is the one I'm about to add personally, right? Because I love my facial peel and I still do, but I'm gonna give this one a try based on some things I've watched and learned more about these ingredients. I was like, I want to try it out because I need to switch it up again for my skin. Okay, so 20 plus years using these products, y'all, you still never get done with like tweaking what you use. All right. And the last booster is if your concern is hydration, dry skin. So this is, and even if you don't have dry skin, because I don't have dry skin, y'all, but I love me some HA ceramide hydrator too. But this is going to give you that drink of hydration for thirsty skin. Helps your skin look plumper, softer, more refreshed, locks in the moisture, gives you the healthy looking skin barrier. It says it's perfect for anyone craving dewy, glowy skin. I find that even if you have oily skin, sometimes your skin still gets dry though. And so this gives you that boost. And HA is the hyaluronic acid, which again, I learned about as a good ingredient for acne fighting. Okay. And so that's another reason why I love this booster. And you could pair this one with one of our other boosters. Like let's say you want to use the one for evening your skin tone. You could pair this one with that one, or you want to pair with the wrinkle one. You can pair it. But Mary Kay really just says, "Hey, just pick two. Pick blue and one other one. Don't try to use all four together." Okay. Pick the blue and one other one. Let's just address kind of two things at a time because we also don't want it to be too much and then someone's having a reaction. Okay. And that's where I've heard different things. So sometimes people just layer everything on and then they're like, "Oh, your skin can handle it." No, we're going to tell you don't do that because Mary Kay said don't do that. All right. Do it the way the scientists will give you the best answers, the best information. All right. So let's wrap it up with a bow. If your primary concern is wrinkles, okay, you got four options. All right. You can use the retinol zero point 0.3, the C plus resveratrol line reducer booster. Okay, that's for all over. Okay, those two help with all over. Okay, so hopefully this is going to answer your question, Victoria. All right. Oh, Lori says she keeps the blue boosters in her stock. It's stocked up. Absolutely. So if you want to deal with all over facial wrinkle treatment, you can use retinol or the booster. That's the purple one, C plus resveratrol. For targeted wrinkle treatment, okay, you've got two options. You can use the Clinical Solutions Dynamic Wrinkle Limiter. All right, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this one. All right, this is for anyone wanting to target expression lines and get the benefits of what we will say is the B word, but we'll say no tox with a B. Okay. Right. So this is that wrinkle relaxing injection treatment. It minimizes the impact of facial movement that causes the appearance of dynamic wrinkles over time. This is where you would use this only in that forehead area and like if you have deeper like crow's feet around the eyes. That's the only place you use that. Okay. Versus the deep wrinkle filler can be used in any of those 6 zones. Like Carolyn was showing us the visual, like you put it around the mouth, like the forehead, those marionette lines. And so it immediately fills it in. But again, both of these would be with consistent use. All right. And so that's for targeted wrinkle treatment. If you have additional concerns, we've got you covered, right? If you deal with dull, tired skin, you want that glowy, fresh look, serum CNE. If you have a damaged skin barrier, you're struggling with dry, stressed out skin, or even acne prone skin, I'm going to say barrier restore. If you are wanting to you're dealing with sagging skin, the firmness, elasticity is kind of going south, the advanced lifting serum. And then these boosters deal with specific concerns. Blue, if you have let me see if I can go back. Okay. And if you deal with rosacea, you deal with dry skin, try the HA ceramide hydrator. Want that silky smooth, dewy skin. You deal with uneven skin tone, dark spots. The ferulic brightener, I call it orange because of the orange print. More radiant complexion. This is your jam. Pair that one as well, y'all, with what? The serum CNE for extra boost. And then for anyone with concern with acne scarring or rough textured skin, your PHA AHA resurfacer. All right. So that was a lot. Okay. However, again, you might say, all right, what are two things that I can add to my regimen? Remember, the Skin Analyzer app will help you out as well because it's going to tell you about your skin. It's going to literally give you a whole scan, tell you about where it sees the texture, the wrinkles. Just it shows you the black light, it shows you all like where it pinpoints it. It's kind of scary, but it does all of that. And then it tells you what it recommends to address that concern. And you can baby step your way in. If you're a consultant, you want to say, let me take advantage of all of these because I get a good discount. And if you're a customer, check with your consultant. She might be running some specials this month, okay? And she'll let you know and hook you up and so forth. But in any case, this was our Beauty Boost Camp. We wanted to just share with you some tips on how to take your regular skincare routine from, let's say it's like at a 6 and you want to get it to a 10. That could be the gap. It's just adding these supplements to address specific concerns and give you the skin that you'll love even more. All right. So we'll see you on our next event. And thanks for supporting your consultant.